Hey everyone, welcome to the Acrobatic Arts podcast. I'm Loren, and I will be interviewing some of the top leaders and innovators from the dance and acrobatic industry. If you are a teacher, performer, student, or a lifelong learner like myself, you are sure to find these episodes intriguing and full of inspiration. Acrobatic Arts is passionate about providing current and relevant information for everyone. So please, sit back and enjoy as we share our passion with you and the world. Today, I'm joined by Carolyn, the Marketing Director of Acrobatic Arts. We're diving into something brand new and exciting, the AcroFLEX Workshop. This workshop was created to help teachers build safe, effective flexibility training that can be integrated into their classes right away. Carolyn and I will explain what AcroFLEX is, why it was developed, and how it can transform the way you approach stretching with your dancers. Let's get started. Welcome to the podcast, Carolyn.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, normally I'm the podcast host and you are working behind the scenes as the marketing director, but today we are teaming up to talk about all things AcroFLEX, kind of like co-hosts, which should be super fun. I'm excited to share with our listeners everything that we have to offer, and I'm especially excited to have you providing some important details alongside me.
I am excited to be here to talk about the AcroFLEX workshop. I think it's exciting. I've watched you work passionately behind the scenes for so long on this and other things. So I'm excited to tell everybody about it. So, Loren, you've been such a huge part of acrobatic arts for so long, and now you've brought something brand new to life with the AcroFLEX workshop. I've seen it firsthand, how much thought and care you've put into this, but I'd love for everyone listening to hear it from you. So let's start at the beginning. What was the spark for the AcroFLEX workshop, and where did this all come from?
I think for a long time, acrobatic arts has been trying to fill a void that some teachers might be feeling when we're providing all the resources that we have, and especially when it came to flexibility training and how it was being approached in dance and acrobatics. We noticed that many dancers and teachers were either given stretches without understanding the why behind them, or they were following routines that weren't always safe or effective long term. So we wanted to create something practical, step by step, that was grounded in the science and anatomy that we have been doing research in for many, many years. And we wanted to pass this on to teachers so that they can confidently guide their students and dancers to build flexibility in a way that actually supports their bodies. And I think that's how AcroFLEX was born. It actually turned out to be a way bigger project than I think both of us thought in the beginning. But it's really about making safe and effective flexibility accessible and also easy to implement in any studio setting.
Well, I think that's, a testament to you, Loren, and the gift that you are in terms of the amount of research that you and Acrobatic Arts put into this into AcroFLEX. And I think that's why, when we talk about, as we get on with this, the amount of value that this course has for teachers is because I think that's what Acrobatic Arts is known for. I think that that's what you are known for, is that you will give and you will provide these teachers with an incredible resource that will really make all that difference. Sort of like module 1 is that eye opener where they can connect the dots to teaching acro. I think that this is just the next level of that. And I think that that's what teachers are really going to love about it. So in terms of all that time spent, I think you're right. I think once you really got in there, we could see how much there was for teachers. And I think that that's why, we'll talk about it, but that's why it's a 4-hour workshop.
Another thing we've talked about is how this workshop really bridges, or as you said, connects the dots between our module 1 and our module 2. I'm wondering, from the company's perspective, how do you see it fitting into the bigger picture of all of our acrobatic arts training?
Well, I think that you touched on that. I mean, what you said is exactly true. It is the impetus for why and the motivation for why the AcroFLEX workshop was created. And so we realized as a company, and that's the brilliance, I think, of Mandy Yip as well, is just seeing that where teachers were craving more tools coming out of Module 1, but maybe weren't ready for Module 2 yet, especially around flexibility. Where Module 1 gives you that foundation, and Module 2 dives deeper into advanced skills, AcroFLEX is that middle ground, but really further laying that foundation. And even myself, as we were working through this, and I'm a pretty fresh Module 1 teacher, and I've got the syllabus, but how to activate that into class for somebody as new to teaching acro as I am, this really, again, was the puzzle piece coming out of Module 1 towards my Module 2. It gave me ideas about how I was going to fill my class, but not just teach the kids the syllabus, but how to like dive deeper into the syllabus, how to, help them become more flexible and more strong with really thoughtful exercises and I would say series, as we call them, that helps to build your class plan, embellish on the class plan, so that when you're getting to the syllabus, it's not just about the skills, but it's about making those skills even stronger and better as they lead down the syllabus and that skill ladder as well. So back to acrobatic arts, but it really is a structured, safe, and effective way to teach flexibility that complements both certifications. And it's not about replacing anything, it's about strengthening the pathway. So ultimately, what we want is that teachers feel confident at every stage that they're at. So now, Loren, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what the name stands for. It's pretty clever. So do you want to talk more about what FLEX, the acronym FLEX, breaks down into being in terms of those words, but also how it plays out in the classroom?
Of course. I can do that because we actually did spend quite a while trying to find the right name for this workshop, and I think we did find the perfect name. So the F stands for find. So you're going to find the technically correct position for whatever skill we're doing or working on. And that means identifying proper alignment and placement, all before adding depth to that skill. L is for lengthen. We're going to take that technically correct position and we're going to lengthen it. And this is all about gradually increasing the range while keeping the alignment intact. E is for engaging the muscles. And I know that a lot of times we don't think of engaging muscles when we're stretching, but I hope that after this workshop, everyone sees that having a strong muscle is actually going to lead to having a flexible and safe muscle as well. So when we engage and we engage the muscles, we're going to use a mix of dynamic, active, and end range strengthening to help build that strength within the stretch. And then we come to X, and of course, it's hard to find X words, but we were creative and we are going to expand. So at the end of all our series, there is a moment where we take that first position that we had and we expand into the fullest expression of the position that we're going to do. So that means we're going to let go of the tension, we're going to release and deepen the stretch. That's the flex. And obviously, flex highlights flexibility, but it also stands for strengthening and flexing those muscles. So we kind of used it as a 2-in-1 because we know that having strong and flexible muscles is what's going to keep our dancers safe and balanced.
So clever. And yes, it's good that we spent that time on there, but I love that double meaning of the strength and the stretching and the flexibility. So obviously, as teachers start listening to this, they're hearing words that are resonating with them. So what's the experience of the workshop? Like, what, if somebody attends that 4-hour workshop, what can they expect to walk away with?
I think what we wanted to do, and I will say right off the top, I don't even think 4 hours is enough for all the information, but we are trying to give our teachers, as we always do, as much information and usable resources as we can in this workshop. I think what the workshop is all about is learning through seeing and doing. Through pictures and videos, we hope that the teachers develop a keen eye for seeing where their students need help, which is going to make them more effective in the studio. We also are encouraging the teachers to move and practice and really feel these techniques themselves. Along the way, they're given a clear step-by-step understanding of how to teach the flexibility safely and effectively, but also how to do these series for themselves and feel it for themselves, because I really think that that is maybe the best part. And this AcroFLEX method can be adapted for any dancer, any stretch, at any level. So teachers leave not only with this knowledge, but with the confidence and some practical tools they can take straight back to their studios.
Absolutely. I can attest to that. I was lucky enough, I feel, to be able to join our faculty in, I would say, like a dress rehearsal run of the workshop, the actual workshop that Loren hosted for our acrobatic arts team. And so there we were, all of us in our own spaces on Zoom, stretching out, using the mats and the tools that, anyway, Loren will explain it when you come to the course, you'll see. But it really was a great opportunity to feel those stretches in our bodies and to walk away with just that bonus, let alone everything that you just talked about. And so the experience is quite remarkable, and we do walk away with so much when we leave this course. So with that, and with, like I said earlier, all the research that you've done and everything that you have that's brought you here so far in your own learning as a professional in dance and yoga and everything that you bring to the table, I think well, it's obvious you've always been passionate about teaching flexibility the right way. Why do you think it's so important for teachers to have this specific knowledge and structure presented this way?
I think, as I mentioned, it's years and years of what we've been studying and doing research on. The only correct way is the way that doesn't hurt your students or put them in danger. So there's lots of right ways. And that's why this method is so great, is because it can be adapted to any syllabus you're following or anything that your students are doing. And I've been trying to think of a clever analogy as well. And the only thing I could think of was give a dance teacher a stretch and they can lead one good class, but teach them how to teach stretching, and they can provide their students with safe and effective training that lasts a lifetime. Let the teachers know that it's one thing to have a stretch to present to your dancers, but it's another thing to know the mechanics and how to use that stretch so that they actually get the benefits from it. I think it's important for teachers to have this knowledge and the structure, because flexibility, it's not just about touching your toes. It's really about understanding the body, knowing how to guide and modify for each individual dancer, as well as creating a consistent approach. And we know that consistency is really what flexibility needs to thrive.
Right. And I love that analogy. Perfect. I think also it's just super empowering, the intention behind it as well. And I think that anybody who takes the course will walk away feeling very empowered as well. So along the way, like we said, all this research knowledge, you have your experience and what you bring to the table. I know that you may have some myths around flexibility training. What are a couple that maybe you hope teachers let go of after AcroFLEX?
I think one of the biggest myths is that flexibility is all about passive stretching. So just pushing into a position and hoping your body will eventually get there and get deeper or farther. In reality, flexibility without strength isn't useful, and that's what can actually increase the risk of injury when you're stretching without the strength. Another myth is that everyone should look the same in their flexibility work. It makes sense. We don't expect everyone to look the same in their day-to-day lives, so we shouldn't expect every dancer to have the same lines or the same range when they have different bodies and different capabilities. I like to say, once you've met one flexible person, you've met one flexible person. So no two bodies are alike, and the training should always be adapted to the dancer in front of you. And I hope that teachers walk away from AcroFLEX ready to let go of those old ideas and embrace an even more balanced, individualized, and safe approach to flexibility. And Carolyn, the other thing I'm really excited about that teachers can take away from this workshop is the amazing resources that Acrobatic Arts always has. Can you share some of those resources that the teachers will receive or have access to?
Yes. One of the things that we're super excited about with the AcroFLEX workshop are the resources. The workshop in itself is a huge resource, and teachers will find that once they're into the course, you'll see what we're talking about. And an extension of that will be that the videos that are presented on in the program will be available on the AcroDance Resource Center. And over time, we'll be adding numerous videos from the AcroFLEX workshop to the AcroDance Resource Center. So teachers don't have to walk away feeling like they're on their own. As you know, and I know, Loren, Acrobatic Arts takes the community very seriously. We want to make sure that teachers feel supported and successful in what they do with us. So those videos will be of huge value. There's a few other resources that come with the course as well. And then over time, through our social media channels and the certified teacher group, we'll be sharing tips, demonstrations, and conversations around AcroFLEX and flexibility. So it really becomes a community effort, and teachers aren't just getting 4 hours of training. They're going to get long-term support and tools to grow. And I was there with Loren filming these series videos for AcroFLEX, and teachers, it's going to be a gift. You won't want to miss out on these as you start connecting the dots with this program. The resources are off the hook and are going to be amazing. So if you already have the AcroDance Resource Center, you will have access to those. If it's something you're thinking about, this definitely will help you, empower you further than just the course itself. And Loren has created all of these videos for your benefit. So definitely look into that as well. Okay, now Loren, a question for you. From our perspective, the launch has been incredible. The first workshops, which were exclusively launched to our certified teachers, sold out within days. And so as you see this program start to go out into the world globally, what excites you most as AcroFLEX starts to take root in studios around the world?
I think what's most exciting, especially being on staff with Acrobatic Arts, is always how we're helping the teachers and the students. So one of the things that I think AcroFLEX will do is change the conversation between the teachers and the students. We all know that teaching is really a conversation, and in dance and acro, it's usually not with words. It's often taking cues from the dancer's body. At Acrobatic Arts, we're all about going through progressions with our students, and teaching is no different. So with AcroFLEX, the teachers are going to move sort of through 3 different levels or progressions of understanding. Level 1 is instructing your class with all the knowledge that you gain in AcroFLEX. Level 2 is knowing how that stretch feels in your own body and being able to pass that on. And level 3, and this is the really powerful part, is being able to step into your dancer's body and understand what they're likely feeling, and then provide them with the right support to help them. And that's where the pictures and the videos come in that we're going to be watching during this workshop. So I think watching the teachers take all of that, take these progressions of teaching back into their studios and connect with their dancers in this way is probably what excites us all the most.
Well, I'm super excited about it. And I know that our teachers are, I know our certified teachers are, and I do know, I mean, it's one thing we talked about too, is that AcroFLEX just isn't for acro. I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but it can apply to really any flexibility stretch portion of really any class. But if you could leave teachers in every course that you teach or every workshop that you teach of AcroFLEX, what's the one takeaway that you're really hoping that they carry with them? What would that be?
I have a lot of things I want them to take away. First, flexibility isn't about forcing shapes. It's about creating safe and strong progress over time. It takes time to achieve these skills. I also want them to understand that every dancer's body is different. And when teachers understand how to adapt the method to the individual in front of them, that's where the magic is going to happen. And I hope everyone realizes how important both stretch and strength are for every body. So whether it's the hypermobile dancer who needs stability, or whether it's the dancer who struggles with flexibility and needs to find more range. Both are important, and I think as teachers, we can start to meet these needs. We just need the tools and the guidance to help our students on their journey, whatever journey that is. And that's when the real transformation happens. So if the teachers leave with that mindset, then I'll know that AcroFLEX is well on its way to really changing the landscape of flexibility training in dance and acro.
Well, I'm ready for it. I'm here for it. And I know that teachers, with all of that, you've got to try it out. It really is an amazing, amazing resource. And just with all of that thought process and intention behind it, it really comes through. And like I said before, in 4 hours, I think that you'll really feel that level of empowerment and confidence to move forward with your courses. So I'm excited.
Carolyn, thank you so much for talking with me today on the podcast. I think our listeners are going to feel just as inspired about AcroFLEX as we are. And could you tell them more information about how to register for a workshop and when they're being held?
Absolutely, Loren. I think you're right. I think teachers are really going to be empowered and they're going to embrace this. And so everyone just needs to go to acrobaticarts.com, check out AcroFLEX workshop, and look for a course coming soon. These are live online courses. And as I already said, we sold out the first 2 courses to our certified teachers globally. And now we're looking to open it up to the public. As we record this, there's one more workshop coming up at the end of the year in December, and we hope to see teachers there.
Thanks again, Carolyn.
Thank you for having me, Loren.
A big thank you to Carolyn for sharing her insights and for helping me introduce AcroFLEX to the world. If you would like to learn more about this brand new workshop, head over to acrobaticarts.com to find upcoming dates and details. As always, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep flexing your muscles and keep your muscles flexible. Thanks for listening, everyone, and have a great day.